Hello everybody! So I'm filming again for the second time in one night because I want to film and I want to talk about books. So this video is going to be my October wrap up. I'm going to talk about all the books I read in October, what I'm going to read in November, well what I am reading in November, and also chapter 2 to my book adventures because I have a hard copy and it's edited by people. So we'll get into that exciting news in a moment. But let's talk about what I read throughout October. So I finally got my hands on Jennifer L. Armentrout's Lux novels. So I flew through Obsidian in like 2 days. I read this and I needed the other ones. So I had Onyx, and I read this a little slower than this one, but I still read this super fast. And then Opal came up, and I took a little bit longer to read Opal, as in like 2 weeks. I just don't know what it was, if I wasn't in the reading mood or if I just was more into editing my book or what it was. I just could not get through this, and it wasn't a good book. Don't get me wrong. It was a fantastic book. I loved it. There was just something about it that didn't grab me at the very start, and I don't know, because I loved the first 2 books. I think they're all amazing books, but something about Opal just didn't go through and register for me. I don't know. If you don't know what these are about, it is about aliens. My camera's focusing on Damon's face. Wouldn't he just love that narcissist? And it is about a girl named Katie, and she comes to West Virginia, and she moves there with her mom after her dad passes away. This piece of hair is driving me insane. Her dad passes away, and so her and her mom moved to West Virginia, and her mom works at the hospital, and she is a book nerd and a book blogger, which made me love her even more. Still love her so much. And she meets a boy named Damon Black and his sister Dee, and Dee befriends Katie, and Damon don't like that too much because they're aliens and they're not supposed to like mingle. Well, they're supposed to mingle, but like not mingle with humans, and he wants to mingle with Katie. What is wrong with me today? But yeah, so it's about that and their adventures, and there's Damon's hot and he's an alien and he kicks ass, and Katie kicks ass, and it's just a great book. It's so funny. The witty lines in here are so funny, and they just continue to be great. Which now leads me on to my TBR of the month of November. Currently, I'm reading Origin. So I am really enjoying Origin. I'm about 80 pages in, and I'm going to read a lot more tonight. It's Friday night, and girlfriend's gonna read herself a book because girlfriend don't know how to party. But I mean, book party, regular party where you might die. I've had my fair share of that. I'm good. I'll take a cheeseburger and a book, please. Thank you. Have a nice night. But I'm gonna read some more of this, but it's so good. It's in dual point of view, so it's in both of their perspectives, which I'm really enjoying, being in Damon's head. Like, really enjoying that. But I am really liking it so far, and I think I'm gonna finish it either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, so that's why I have 3 others on my TBR, because I'm definitely gonna finish this right away and I need other things to read. So the next thing I'm going to read, can you guess it? Opposition. I'm just gonna finish the series out. I mean, I don't want to. I have so many series that I read the first or the second book, and I move on to a new series, and I need to stop doing that because then they sit on my shelf for 20 years. Like the Red Queen series, which I've read the first book of, started the second book, put that down, and then never came back to it. I need to go back to that series because it was wonderful. This is the problems of Allie and her many books on the shelf that she has not read, and it's a problem. And I have another bookshelf over there with books on it that I have not read. Drives my mother insane. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish the series out because why not? Then I'm going to talk about this one before I talk about my last young adult. So I'm really into murder. Sounds worse than when I say it out loud. I'm really into true crime stuff. I will watch true crime shows all day long, like actual true crime. I just finished like the second episode in the Natalie Holloway case on Oxygen. To finish that, I watched all the John Bonet cases that they do on TV, and they did The Becoming of John Bonet or something like that. I watch all of The Making of a Murderer case. I had to do a case study on that for class, which if you want to see that, leave that down below because I have some theories about that case that are just like will blow your mind, and my professor was like, I never thought of that, but I see where like you're coming from. I think I know who killed that woman, and it was not either of the people in jail for that murder. So oh, that makes me so heated. But anyways, I want to read Conviction, The Untold Story of Putting Jodi Arias Behind Bars, by Juan Martinez, which was the prosecutor of the case. So I live in Arizona, and this was such a big deal in Arizona. This case was tried here. I remember being a senior, and we watched it in U.S. history. We watched the case on our TV, and we listened to the case, and every morning before I went to school, I was listening to anything. I remember sitting in my car during, I think it was lunch. It was me and my friends, we were sitting in our car, and we were listening to the radio, and the security were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I need to be in my car because I want to know the conviction of Jodi Arias. And they were like, oh, you're good, like you can eat in your car, like just go to class when you need to. And like it was such a big deal. So I want to read this. It has pictures in here of the house. I actually know where this house is, and I've driven by it before, and it's very creepy that people still live in it. I know like you're not supposed to like not live in it because someone was murdered there, but like someone was murdered there, and not like 300 years ago, like 4 years ago. Someone was brutally murdered, and the people were like, yeah, it doesn't freak me out. Like the wife said it kind of freaked her out, but the husband was like, it's such a good deal. I wonder why it was a good deal, because they were murdered. So this is the story of Juan Martinez and how he put Miss Arias behind bars. And from what I've heard from news reports about her in jail, she is a psychopath more than we thought. Because at one point we all thought she was going to get away with it. So this is a top read for me. I don't know if I'm going to read like bits and pieces of like one chapter a night and read like my other YA novels, or if I'm going to read this in full. I'm not really sure. So but I'll let you know. I want to talk about this and like kind of do a case study on it when I'm done with it, because it's just, because it's so close to home, it's super interesting to me. And my last book on my TBR is actually one that I didn't even know was coming out, and I'm so excited. This is The Becoming of Noah Shaw. If you are a fan of the Mara Dyer series, this is Noah's story. Like, this is after the retribution of Mara Dyer. This is in Noah's perspective. But it has Mara in it. But like, apparently it's not happily ever after. I don't know. This is what it says. It says, everyone thinks 17-year-old Noah Shaw has the world on a string. They're wrong. Mara Dyer is the only one he can trust with his secrets and his future. He shouldn't. Like, what? And both are scared that uncovering the truth about themselves will force them apart. They're right. In the first of the Shaw Confessions, the companion series to the New York Times bestselling The Mara Dyer, old skeletons laid bare and new promises proved deadly. This is what happens after happily ever after. You don't understand how excited I am about this. I went to the Half Price bookstore and they had like new books at the Half Price bookstore. And I had credit and I paid 86 cents for this book out of my pocket because I had credit because I gave away like old school books. I can't contain my excitement. I love that series. I read it straight through when I lived in Florida. My favorite one was probably the first one, and I just know I'm gonna love this because I love Mara, I love Noah, and I think their story is so compelling, and the way the last book ended, this needs to happen. I need to know what happened after that because we were left with so many questions. And so if you haven't read the Mara Dyer series, it is about a girl and she doesn't really know what's going on. She keeps waking up and she's thinking she's killing someone or killing people, but she doesn't know if she is. I still don't know if she was. That's how twisted this story is. It's so good. If you like true crime or if you like mystery, you'll love that book. You'll love this book because I love it and I haven't even read it. And there's definitely going to be a book talk about it. I'm screaming and my family's out in the living room watching hockey. They probably think I'm psychotic, but new book in the Mara Dyer series. My life is complete. Now to get on to the fun stuff, we're going to be talking about my book more, which, look at it! It's in hard copy and it has sticky notes on it because I had a couple of friends go through it and like review it and edit it, which, girlfriend, it needed some editing. Not as in like the story itself per se, it needed editing as like I spelt words wrong. I didn't put words in there. I just kind of free word wrote it as I wrote it, and it was kind of a hot mess at some points, but they both loved it. And that is something that I was so afraid of when giving my baby to them, that they were gonna hate it. One of my friends, her name's Ashley, it was like, how could you leave it off like that? Like, I want the second book now. And I'm like, well, the second book doesn't exist yet, but like, girlfriend, the second book, it's gonna get you in the heart even more. So yeah, I have been editing. I'm like 19 chapters in to editing, which is really good. I've been also NaNoWriMoing, as in like rewriting chapters that I don't like and doing all that and just kind of going through that for NaNoWriMo, because if I give myself a 50,000 word goal, this book isn't exactly 50,000 words, but it will be once I finish it. It's finished, but I have another scene that I want to add into it. But I'm really excited. This means I'm closer to submitting it to publishers, and I know a lot of people in the book industry will edit their book multiple times, which I did. Don't get me wrong, I did. But I was editing as I went through the book as well. Like, I would go back and I would fix something that I didn't like, and I had to do that because the way I wove intricate parts that people can pick up in are just they had to be woven in very meticulously, and also they had to be, what's it called, edited. Like, I had to go back and edit parts that I was like, no, I want to do it this way, so it comes back in the story this way, and da 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 da. So a lot of people will say the first draft is horrible. I'm very proud of my first draft, and I think even my second draft reflects my first draft very closely. It still has the same storyline. It's still beginning, middle, and end. It's still the same scenes. It's still the same characters. Yes, I tweaked a little thing. I changed one person's name. Her name used to be Caitlin, and I spelt it weird, and people were like, what's her name? Is it Caitlin? And I was like, no, it's with an E, but... So we changed her name. Her name is Bryn now. I've been meticulously editing, and I think this comes with me being a perfectionist, that it's so hard not to want my first draft to be perfect, and I know it's not supposed to be perfect, but for me to send the first 10 pages to an editor right now, I would be more than happy to. My biggest thing is sending a letter that says, hey, publish my book. And this is why you should publish my book. Because I literally want to be like, you want to publish my book? Because it's my dream. Like, that's why I want someone to publish my book. Because they realize this is a lifelong dream. And this is what I was meant to do, was to write and to share stories. I mean, I tell stories on my YouTube channel. And I love makeup. And my thing is, I'm so passionate about what I do with whatever I'm doing. I could be mowing the lawn, and that's the kind of, I just put everything I have into something like that. And so that's my biggest fear, is the rejection of publishers saying you're not good enough. And I don't know, I think, or I just need to put myself out there now, and I can't really be afraid of that. And you know, I'm not a big name, and I'm not anything, and if I even get one copy to sell on the bookshelves, that's something I want. But I do know I don't want to self-publish, because I don't think I'd be able to handle that personally. I think that's just too much. I want someone to be with me. I would really like to get signed to like a publishing house, but I think I want a physical copy. I don't mind if it's ebook as well, but I don't want just the ebook. I want a physical copy, and I want to sell physical copies, because I think a book is just so much more than an ebook. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I want like a hardbound My Baby in my hand. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm editing. And once I start sending off to editors, I will definitely update you guys again, because this will be a long process. But I think once 2018 hits, I'm going to be really kicking it into high gear to get it published, because I would like my book to be published by the end of 2018 or going into 2019. Just depending on how the publishers want to take my book. But I really want to get an agent at the beginning of 2018 or sometime in the near future. So yeah, if you're an author that has already published, that like, if you're watching, leave it down below, like your agency that you recommend for me, because I'll submit to them. I hope you enjoyed this little update on what I'm reading, what I'm going to be reading, and a little bit about my book. And I hope you have a great night. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments below. And also hit that thumbs up button so I know you like these videos, because I love talking about books. And then hit that subscribe button so you know when I'm going to talk about books. And you can see me freak out about another book like I've freaked out about the Noah Shaw book. So yeah, bye loves.